What's up, guys? Just making this video to show you the flock camera in action. So as these cars drive by, that camera up there captures a series of photos of the vehicle as it passes by. The camera is actually using an IR infrared flash, so it's mostly undetectable, but my camera lens picks it up pretty well. So when these cars go by this morning, just watch this light blink, and here a vehicle comes. Flash, flash, flash. And it's gonna hit every car that goes by. And what it's doing when it's taking these pictures is it's logging the make, the model, the color of the vehicle, license plate. It can take clear enough pictures where it can see who's driving. You know, you can make out who's driving the vehicle. It can categorize a vehicle by bumper sticker. It can categorize the vehicle by notable damage on the vehicle. So if there's like a quarter panel that has a, a decent dent on it or whatever, this thing will categorize that vehicle as such. So it's a good thing. It's a great little tool for fighting crime. You know, if someone steals a car or commits a crime, you know, cops can enter that kind of identifiable information into the system, and this camera will, you know, keeps a good record of all the vehicles. And when I mean good record, it means it keeps a precise and detailed and very informational record of all the vehicles that drive through here. So, you know, that's cool and all, but it's tracking everybody. And the thing is, we don't know how long this information is being stored. We don't know who has access to it. We don't know the standard operating procedure when it comes to, you know, accessing this, you know. So there's a lot of questions that the community would like to have answered. The sheriff's department, when they installed this, they installed the cameras around the county, and then they released a press release about it to the Journal Review. And it was a pretty generic press release with very little information. The article that was released to the local papers was very vague. It did not detail all the capabilities of this technology. Yeah, it's just, you know, makes you wonder, why wasn't the community given a say before they rolled this thing out? And what all is this technology being used for? Obviously, you know, it catches people for a myriad of things. Lately, what I've been seeing it being used for the most is to bus drivers who are driving on a suspended license or suspended registration. This thing can scan a plate, run it through you know, the system, compare it to the active plates in the BMV, and it can tell whether you're up to date on your plates or whether you're not. So all a cop has to do is just sit down the road from one of these cameras, and you know, before too long, a car is going to drive by that has either a potential suspended driver in the seat, or it's going to have you know, suspended registration, and there's the officer's probable cause to fucking pull the vehicle over. So in that, you know, let's talk about vehicles that are tied to someone who might have a suspended license. Well, so cops get a heads up. Cops get a heads up that a car is in the area that's tied to a driver that might have a suspended license. The cop locates the vehicle in the area, and oftentimes cops will then do some questionable things to, pull that car over. Oftentimes, it seems, and the community has noticed that it seems when an officer wants to pull a car over, that car is going to get pulled over one way or another. So, and if you're out here, your vehicle is legit, you're driving legit, your registration is legit, but you just might be tied to, everything could be legit, but the cop's like, we're still going to find a way to pull this vehicle over so we can check the driver out. And what happens a lot on some bullshit is that the vehicle gets pulled over and someone who's legally licensed is in the driver's seat, but the cop couldn't tell that at the moment. So that person's let go with a warning. Everyone's, traffic stop over, but, technically some rights were likely infringed on to make that traffic stop occur. So we can thank tech like this for recovering stolen vehicles, but then we can also thank tech like this for potentially questionable policing that's occurring in our, neighborhood, in our community. So, and we've already seen, and this has already happened here in Crawfordsville, officer pulled over a vehicle where the plate was mistakenly red. Officers were mistakenly alerted that this vehicle was stolen or something along those lines. So they pulled the vehicle over. They performed a felony stop on the vehicle, which is, guns are drawn and the driver is requested out of the vehicle. And so they performed a felony stop on this vehicle that was mistakenly identified by one of these cameras. So that's happened here in Crawfordsville. There's a lawsuit going on in Lafayette right now about a guy who got pulled over in a similar fashion. So these things are great for fighting crime, but they also potentially put innocent people at risk. And, in a community like Montgomery County, you have a sheriff's department that just puts these on the street without even asking anybody what they thought about it, and has been pretty lipped about this technology ever since it hit the street. So these vehicle and plate scanners are a big deal, folks. We need to pay attention to these things in our community. We need to ask ourselves why they are placed in the places they are placed in our community. Let's think about the location of this one. It's at Indy Road and Shady Lane. And it's also, what's interesting is that it's facing vehicles going out of town. In this spot, wouldn't you want to scan vehicles coming into town? Wouldn't that make sense? I mean, to me, that's what makes sense. So, yeah, folks, just another little video about these plate scanners and vehicle scanners. They don't monitor speed. So if you went by this thing at 100 miles an hour, it might not get a clear picture of you. There are ones that do capture vehicles better at high speed, but I'm not sure if this is one of them. But that's up there. That's it up there on the pole. I've noticed recently in the last couple of weeks, this green light has turned on them. And that is, it's flashing its little infrared flasher at that car that just drove by. So another vehicle's about to drive by, another flash. So what's funny, folks, is I'm standing right here in like the path of the camera. I'm not in the road. I'm off, you know. Let's see here. Let me zoom out a little bit. Skirt. So we're not, you know, I'm off the road here, but every time a car goes by, I know I'm in the picture. So say hi to the camera, folks. We're gonna flip the camera off. Oh damn, this guy's turning. The next car that drives by, we're gonna flip the camera off. But yeah, we got to start asking ourselves, folks, why these cameras are placed where they are in our community. What's the purpose of putting this camera here and monitoring this traffic over here? This might be a good place to protest. Right here in front of this camera. Man, everyone's kind of moving fast through here this time of the morning. It's about 6 in the morning now. I got to get to work. I'm late. This guy don't know which way he's going. So, yeah, folks, that's the video. These cameras recently got a green light on them. Shady Knoll, Indianapolis Road. Just wanted to show you these things blinking and how they work. When you drive by, you're not going to be able to see it flash with your naked eye, but if you have a camera rolling, the camera will pick it up. All right, folks. We got cars going every which way over here right now.